Hello, guys. Welcome to the live, everyone who is joining on this beautiful Saturday. I'm gonna be here for just like an hour today. It's Saturday, so I want to do a lot of other things, but I still want to do just to be here, for 1 hour, talk a little bit about market, about what to expect for next Monday. If you guys probably watched the news yesterday and today, the market closed with bad news on Friday, and those bad news might affect the market coming Monday. So if you are trading Monday at market open, if there are no other news tomorrow, it's probably gonna wake up in the red, just because of let me turn this down. Um, just because of the bad news that happened on Friday. So if you guys are trading Monday, be careful, right? Because market might wake up in the morning in the red, and some stocks, all the stocks in general, are gonna might drop a little bit because of the news that came out on Friday yesterday. So we're here today just to talk a little bit about the market, and I wanted to just show a little bit to a couple of the people who have been joining the live for the past few days. They wanted me to explain a little bit about um, how to read charts and explain candles and stuff like that. So it'll be a very basic explaining for like stocks 101. No, so for those of you guys, the guys that are experienced, I mean, it's probably not gonna be the greatest lesson, but because you probably already know all about that. Arkham, thank you for being in the live, man. Spy will drop to 550 on Monday. I don't think it's gonna drop that much, to be honest. Just because the news that came out. I mean, if you were, uh, if you've been following the news, um, I'm joking. Yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of people, that's what they think because of what happened. But the news, they're bad news. I mean, they're not great news, and it might scare the market and the investors a little bit on Monday. But I don't think it's news that will drop the market, more than 1 or 2%. If you guys recall, in 2023, there was another agency that also downgraded the United States credit worthiness, because that's what happened on Friday. The Moody, which is this another credit agency that downgraded the United States credit worthiness on Friday from AAA to AA1, which means that it's like, to put it in different words, it's like you getting lower credit score because you didn't pay, or you didn't make the payment for your car this month, and your credit score dropped a little bit because you didn't make that payment. And of course, other agencies are not gonna let you borrow money because now they think, oh, you're not making your payments, your debt is increasing, so we're not gonna let you borrow as much money for another car or whatever. So that's pretty much what happened on Friday. But it happened about 2 years ago with another credit agency, and the next day the market dropped. I think it was about 1.1 or 1.8%. That was 2 years ago when that happened. And the last time it happened before 2023, it was in 2011, if I'm not mistaken. That was another credit agency. I forgot the names of the other two agencies. So they're basically three main agencies that weight the credit worthiness of the United States. And on 2011, that was the first one, and 2023, that was the second one, and then the third one, Moody, which happened on Friday after the market closed. So they were waiting for the market to close to announce the news. But I mean, if you guys think about it, the United States has been in debt, and you guys know the debt. The debt is about $36 trillion. If you guys know about the debt, and the market, Wall Street knows about the debt, they've known about the debt for a very long time. This shouldn't come as a surprise. To be honest, it shouldn't, because we've known this for a very long time. So the fact that they announced it on the fact that they announced it on Friday after the market closed, I mean, I don't know how much. I mean, of course, it's bad news. I'm not saying otherwise, but I'm saying it's not. It shouldn't be a surprise. So I don't expect the market to drop that much on Monday. So unless there are other bad news. Check the 4 hour. It's looking bearish. Plus, we have a daily gap below 500. You're talking about Lucid King. Talking about SPY. We can check out the SPY. Let's see. SPY on the 4 hour. Yeah, I mean, it closed in the green, um, but then it dropped after market, and it's touching the previous resistance of about 588, which now is support. But with the bad news, I mean, it could break it and then fill the gap it left back in when was this gap? On May 9th, when it opened on Monday. So last week, it opened on Monday with a little bit of a gap because of the news on China. So I'm not. I mean, that could be totally a possibility, that the market drops from 588, which is where it closed at the end of the aftermarket on Friday, and drop all the way to maybe test that 77, 75, somewhere around that area. So yeah, so that's not totally crazy. It could go down there. uh Daily gap to below 500. um Wait, is looking bearish, but we have a daily gap to below 500, below 5, like to drop to 500. I don't know, man. I mean, Lucid, I don't know that it could drop all the way to 500. Not on these news. If there are more bad news, then possibly, maybe like a news on China that they are not going to sign a deal for the. I mean, we're on a 90-day pause, tariff pause. So if they announce that that's not happening anymore, then yeah, I do see the SPY dropping all the way to probably. I think it tested 480. Yeah, 484, 485. Those were the lows back in April 7th. So it could test that, uh, just because, again, if we have more bad news, like the news on China, I think that's the only thing that could bring it back to 500 again or lower. Rising wedges are super bearish. Oh, the wedges. Yeah. I thought I didn't read that part. Absolutely, yeah. So if you have that analysis, so we are on a rising wedge, as you said. So and those are super bearish. So let's see if you close this. Not that one. So this, right? Like if you have the wedge like that, it's kind of it's topping at like 95.94, and then from there, if it breaks that wedge, yeah, absolutely, it could go down, again, because we have the bad news. But then you have to also consider that there are a lot of good news on the horizon, such as the deals with other countries, like with India and Japan, I believe, was in the works. Um, so South Korea, I think, also. Uh, so I think the way Trump works is that if he sees that investors are panicking, that's when he releases news, right? So he might be working on a strategy to kind of counter the news from Friday. I'm not saying that the market is not going to drop on Monday. I My opinion is I think it will. It's going to make a little correction because we were already due for a correction. Okay, not because necessarily of the news that happened on Friday, which kind of pushed the market down, but the market was due for a correction, right? Because it had been rising for the past week. So, you know, I think Trump is gonna try to counter it with something, either some deals or some other kind of good news. So again, guys, thank you for being on the live. Usually I don't do lives on Saturdays. I mean, today I had some time, so I said, why not? Let's talk a little bit about the market, see who joins on a Saturday. But I'm typically here just Monday through Friday, 9 to 11. That's when I get into the lives and talk about what happened in the market, what to expect for the next day. I mean, tomorrow is Sunday, so the market is closed. Of course, we don't expect anything from tomorrow, but tomorrow we'll start to see the futures in the afternoon. So it'll give us more or less an idea. And also the Asian markets open tomorrow, U.S. time. So we'll get an idea of what that's gonna look like on Monday. Let me read some of the comments. Thank you guys for being here, joining the live. I appreciate it. And if you guys can give me a like, I would also very much appreciate it. So that's what I'm here for. I'm just here for the lives. That's it. I'm not selling anything. I'm not getting any profit from anywhere. It's just you guys being here, adding some comments and giving me some likes, taps on the screen. That is what I appreciate the most. So appreciate you guys being here and appreciate the follows. Howie, thank you for the follow, man. Yes, by Rising Wage on the 4 hour. Yeah, so I just drew that on my chart. Said blank share live. Thank you for sharing the live. Oh yeah, I mean that's another thing. If you guys share the live, very much appreciated. Again, if you guys give me some likes, also very very appreciated. You're not only trade gaps daily, not the 4 hour gaps on the daily. Oh, like for the spy, trades on the gaps, not on the 4 hour. I mean, it depends. I usually, I mean, I was hoping that the market would continue to go up, and I was trying to get out of some positions, but I wasn't even looking at the gaps. I know eventually it was gonna have to try to fill it, but yeah. So yeah, the daily is when you look at the gaps. Absolutely. Um, SPY is going to 480 to confirm a bottom. It will retest the lows from a couple weeks ago. Like I said, it's totally possible. I'm not against that, but we have to have really bad news, Lucid. If we have like bad news or we expire the 90 days, like the 90 days pause tariff, then I do see the SPY dropping to probably test the 480s again, or maybe even lower, and we will enter into a bear market then. But as of now, I just don't see it. I don't see it dropping to 480, just based on the news that came out on Friday from Moody downgrading the credit worthiness of the United States. So I don't see it happening just with that on its own, but we'll see. Uh, follow the host, Spooner. Thank you for the follow, man. Thank you for the follow. Jay follow. You just follow me. I appreciate that. Lucid King, again, thank you, and appreciate you guys being here tonight on a Saturday. I mean, Saturdays are usually for for I don't know, events, going out, doing somewhere. I'm here stuck at home, so I just came out from a family party, but I had to come home early, so I had some time, and that's why I decided to jump on the live. So all of you guys, I don't know what your plans were for Saturday. Maybe they got ruined and you ended up on TikTok. So, but I appreciate you guys stopping by, even if it's for a few minutes, and watch us talk a little bit about the stocks, what to expect for Monday, what the news are, and we'll go from there. So, Jay, is this day trading? No, no, Jay. Well, I don't day trade. I used to. That's where I started, because I thought that was the most profitable, and it is. It is the most one of the most profitable ways to trade, to get money. But for me, it was very stressful because this is not what I do for a living. I do this on the side, just to kind of get some cash, some extra cash, every month, and I, because I have my job during the day, I can't be in front of the screen all day. I trade the first 2 hours of the market from. I live in the Pacific time, so from 6:30 to 8:30. That's when I enter into some positions, and then I swing trade. I sell the next day or the next week. Depends on how the market is, or sometimes if I see that it's gonna be a bad day, I don't really trade. I just watch the market, and then I I don't trade, but I don't do day trading. I started though. I started day trading, and it wasn't the best thing for me. Just again, because I didn't have the time. The Ruiz family follow the host. Ruiz family, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it, Simon. Appreciate it for the follow too. Wait, I have a question, please. What website do you use to learn about the news? Well, um, there are two different ways that I learn about news. The first one is I go to. I'll show you the website on the screen. Let's see, and put it here. There are a lot of websites that can give you the most updated news. So let me put it on the screen. Right there. Let's see if it shows. Right there. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of like stretched out. I need to fix it. But this website is called Finbis. That's the one I personally use because it's free. I don't pay for it. But I am part of a community where there is a mentor that helps everyone who is in that community. And the mentor, he pays a subscription, which is pretty expensive. I think it's like $600 or $700 a month, something like that. And he gets the news the minute they come out. He gets them, and then he shares all of those news with us, usually early in the morning before the market opens. So that way we know what to expect, and we know it the minute it happens. That's when we know it. When we know it, and then throughout the day, during when the market is open, he continues to share all the news. Whatever happens, Trump speaks, the Federal Reserve speaks, whatever. He shares all of that with us, and that way we are up to date, and we know like if we're trying to get out of a position, then we know it right away. But personally, for me, because again, um, I don't do this all day. Well, I don't see the point of paying for that. Plus, I'm getting it for free when I'm in this community, so that works out for me. But this is what I look at just when I want to keep up with the news, and it's like a Saturday Sunday in the community that I am in. We don't share any news because most people don't do anything over the weekend in regards to the market. So this is what I look at personally, the Finbis, and this is where I get all the news. Restman, follow. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Let's see, Race family, share the live. Thank you for the shares, and if you guys can give me a like to the live, I would appreciate it. I'm trying to get some lives, try to grow the channel a little bit. So that is very much appreciated. So if you guys can tap the screen, appreciate that beforehand. Claudia, thank you for the follow, Claudia. Let's see, what technical indicators are you using? So let's go back to my trading view. So question by Alice. Alice, technical indicators. So I use different ones. Let me look at a chart that's a little bit cleaner because I have a bunch of stuff on the S&P 500. So let's look at Google. On Google, I don't have that much shit. So here I have Google. I'm on the daily time frame right now, and the here's how I keep it simple. I only use the 200 moving average, which is what most professionals use. The 50, again, most professionals use the 50, and the 20. A lot of professionals also use the 9 simple moving average. I use only 3. Those are the only ones because I'm a swing trader, so I don't need to look at smaller time frames because I get into positions when I believe they're a good company and the company is oversold. So that's when I enter into positions, and then I don't even look at it until I know the company is gonna hit resistance. So so these 3 technicals are pretty good for me. So these indicators, the 200, the 50, and the 20, I think that's good enough for me. Now on top of that, I use the RSI, and the RSI is a great tool to use because that indicator tells me when a stock is oversold or when the stock is overbought. So let me show you a quick example on the daily chart, right? So I'm on the daily. I'm on Google right now. So I mean, when the stocks drop because of the tariffs, because of all that stuff that happened about a month ago, you see on the RSI right here, down here, how how it got oversold. It got under this dotted line, and whenever a stock gets under this dotted line, and I know Google is a great stock, right? They own YouTube. They make billions on YouTube alone, and they have other businesses. They have Google Cloud. They have Google Drive. They have all of this stuff that makes Google a very powerful company. So when Google is oversold, my instinct says Google makes billions, and the fundamentals of Google are great, and it's still oversold. Well, if it's oversold, if I see it right, let's see if I can draw. Can I draw here? If I see it oversold right there, and I see it oversold right here, which up here, right? See if I can erase that. If I see it oversold right there, which is the same thing as down here, so if you can see it, if you can follow me, right? You see how it coordinates the stock being at the low and then oversold at the bottom. That's when I enter into some positions. I'm like, if it goes down even lower, I'm gonna buy more. It went down here when it hit, I think it was 165. So I bought some shares at 165. Then I waited because it kind of went up on the RSI, and then if I said if it goes up like it did here to 169, I didn't sell there because I said if it drops more, I'm gonna buy more, and it did. It dropped all the way to 141, and I bought some more. So I got an average of about 152, 153, and once it moved away from the dotted line at the bottom, then I said, you know what? Whatever happens from here, whenever it hits the oversold position, that's when I'm gonna sell. Okay, and I'm just waiting for that. I mean, it hasn't gotten to that point yet. It hasn't even hit the 200 SMA, so I'm just waiting. Like I said, I'm a swing trader, so I'm not in a hurry to sell. But once it hits there, I'm gonna get out of my position. So those are the only indicators I use: the SMAs and the RSI, and of course the volume. I want to know if there's a lot of trading that day, so a lot of volume in that stock. So I hope I was able to answer your question. Alice, that was Alice. Sir, can I have a question about SYTA, please, for me? Check it. Good to buy. Sahid. I don't know what that is, man, but I can check the technicals. That much I can tell you. You say SYTA. SYTA. What is this? Siyata Mobile. What does this company do? See. I mean, I already can tell you that this is a trash company. Just to put it that way. I mean, just look at it where it is coming from. Okay. And here's the thing, guys. I mean, if you're watching this live, please keep this in mind. Just because a stock drops from all-time highs, I mean, this stock was, just look at it. Oh my God. This stock was, I'm not even gonna go any further. It was an $883 stock back in 2023. Right now it's trading at $2. So when I get people, and I understand it. I understand sometimes the how can I put it? Like a lot of people want to be positive about these kind of stocks, but they also want to be speculative. That's the word I was looking for. They think that because it dropped from 800 and what was it? The all-time highs was 943 all-time highs, and it kind of had a range of a lot of support and resistance at 888, somewhere around there. Because this stock was at $888, it does not mean it's gonna go back. It doesn't mean that at all. I mean, this stock, if you were to put, I don't know, $1,000 in this stock, what? I mean, it's in a. I mean, you could tell it's in a downtrend, right? It hasn't made higher highs. I mean, it had one here, kind of wanting to recover, but then it dropped again. And I mean, let me make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see it, right? So So imagine if you bought somewhere, let's say you bought somewhere around here, right? Because you wanted to make some money, and then it went up. Most people think, oh, it's gonna go up again to $883 or 888 or 900. I'm gonna wait because right now it's at $8. I'm gonna wait. Guess what happens? It continues to go down, right? And then it makes another high right there. And people say, "Oh, it's recovering. I'm getting my money back. I'm gonna wait because I now it's finally recovering." And then guess what happens again, right? It continues to go down. So here it had a push. I don't know if it was based on some news. I'm not familiar with the stock, but I mean you could see that it went up again, but it is a lower low, so or a higher low. I'm sorry. So you guys can see. Let me draw the line here, right? You guys can see that it is a higher low because it did not reach the previous high that you guys see here. So because it's a higher low, most likely it's gonna hit there, and on come Monday, it's gonna drop and it's gonna continue that pattern. So you ask me, is it a good stock to buy? I mean, if you want to lose your money, sure. You want to, because you also have to realize that there are sharks out there. Okay, there are pros. There are guys that have been doing this for 20, 30 years, and they are waiting for you to buy right there so that they can short their position and take your money. That's what they're waiting for. So if it was me, I would not waste my time. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Let's see. Sorry if I'm transparent about it. I just I hate when people lose money doing this stuff. I lost money like that when I started, and I don't want people to make the same mistakes. So I don't mean to come out aggressively on this kind of stuff, but you guys got to do your research. You got to think about, is this company going to be here in 20 years? Is it selling something great? Does it have plans for in the future? And if you cannot answer those questions, then don't even bother entering into a company like that, because you're gonna lose your money. Alice, thank you for the follow. Sahid, thank you for the follow. Tobias, thoughts on Monday opening bell with Moody hit P's downgrade? I think it's gonna be a red day unless tomorrow Trump comes out and says we have a deal with India and zero tariffs, or we have a deal with Japan, zero tariffs for both, or 10% tariffs or something, because the market wants to know what's going on. They want certainty, and right now there is uncertainty. Right? We don't know. You don't know. I don't know. Um, the market, Wall Street doesn't know. So because there is that uncertainty, then the markets tend to be volatile. They go up, they go down. They don't know where to go because we don't know what the news are going to be. So unless there are good news tomorrow, I do see Monday in a up opening in a little bit of a red. I don't think it's gonna be that bad, just because in 2023 the same thing happened. There was another credit agency that downgraded the United States credit worthiness, and then the market only dropped 1%. I mean, the SPY only dropped 1%. So I think it's kind of the similar thing is gonna happen unless we have really good news. So that's my thought on Monday, Tobias. Um, Chronic, thank you for the follow, appreciate it. And guys, if you guys can give me, help me with tapping the screen. I'm gonna try to break my record every day to get to more than 10,000 likes. So if you guys tap, I would appreciate it. It will help me, grow the channel, and also motivates me to continue doing this. Oversold, does this mean it's more than 80? Alice, oversold. What do you mean more than 80? Because you see the numbers down here. Is that what it is? So these numbers, I mean, don't think too much on them. The indicator, it just shows that at 70, the stock is oversold. So if it hits 70 or above, stock is oversold. If it hits 30 or below, the stock is I'm sorry, I'm mixing it. It's overbought at 70 and it's oversold at 30. Okay, that's all it means. Time frame is daily. Yeah. So right now I'm looking at daily. That's the one I try. I like to look at for better prediction of where the market is gonna go. Then if I want to enter into position, I start looking at the 4 hour, the 1 hour. If I want to be very detailed, maybe the 15 minute. But typically, the 4 hour, 1 hour, that's good enough to enter in a position. Because again, I'm a swing trader, so if I was a day trader, I'll probably be looking at the 5 or 1 minute. But because I'm a swing trader, looking at the 4 hour, 1 hour, that works for me. Even if the stock drops a little bit more, I know that I'm not gonna trade that same day, so I'll still be okay. Because I don't know where the bottom is, right? Nobody knows. Um, be careful who you get advice from. Cold blood. Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, you gotta. I don't think anybody on TikTok or anywhere gives advice to anyone. I don't give advice to anyone. I just talk about stocks. So I don't think anybody can give advice to any other person. Because we all have different goals. Contrarians for the win. It was probably never a in the hand shot. It just did a bunch of reverse splits. Willow Whisper could be. I'm not familiar with the stock. If that's the stock you're talking about, the one I was looking at, um, it might have. It might have. I don't have no idea what that stock is or what it does. Diaz, bro, getting too frustrated over nothing. Chill. Let's see. Why was it over a million in 2021? Chris, what was over a million in 2021? Do you think Nvidia will do the same? Good day. Do what? Like drop? I think. I mean, I think in general all the stocks are gonna drop on Monday. Um, even if Nvidia has good news, remember, just because there are good news in one stock um, doesn't mean that it's gonna go up. Uh, if there is a macro event happening, in this case the rating from Moody on Friday, which again downgraded the credit worthiness of the United States, then it's gonna affect everyone in general. There might be some stocks that move up a little bit, but most of the stocks are probably gonna take a hit on Monday if there are no good news tomorrow. Let me tell Trump to tweet and raise URL. Yeah, I mean, tell him, man. Tell him to please tell us what he's gonna do with the other with the tariffs with the other countries, so that we can have a green Monday. Uh, it wasn't 1 million. It's called reverse splits. Look it up. Yeah, I mean, I imagine that just by what you're telling me, Willow. So when a stock splits, let's say a stock is at 100, and then they do a 10-to-1 split, then the stock that was worth 100, now it's gonna be worth $10, right? Because they 10-to-1 split. So if they reverse split it, then I imagine maybe that's what happened. Could be. So it's the opposite of splitting. Just the big dogs exit liquidity. Just the big dogs, like the big companies. Absolutely. Is that the same thing that happened to Mullin Automotive? Will Whisper. Okay, so I mean, Will Whisper. Maybe he can answer that question. I don't know that stock either. Do you think Nvidia will do the same? Okay, I read that one. Wamos, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Good day. Thank you for the follow again. Appreciate it. Thoughts on Spy? Spy. Let's look at Spy. So earlier, we were looking at this stock when I opened the live, and we said, well, because there are bad news on the United States, so a macro event happening, and it's not good. It's a bad news. I do see the Spy dropping and maybe hitting the resistance it previously had. I mean, it closed at 588, I think. Let's see. On the 4 hour, yeah, after market on Friday closed at 588. So from there, it needs to test that 577 support. So I it might drop to 580, 577 if there are no other events happening and nothing that can counter the bad news from Friday. So I do think it could drop. Plus, it's on a rising wedge, and usually those are pretty bearish. Um, so if you can see, that's how SPY has been trending for the past month since April 25th. So so I do think that it might drop, possibly. Again, we gotta follow. Now it's really hard to look at the technicals and get an educated prediction of what's gonna happen on Monday when the things that have been moving the market for the past couple months are not the technicals, and they are not bad news on companies. They are not micro news. They're all about what Trump says. They're all about the administration releasing news on tariffs, releasing news on deals. So they are the ones moving the market. Every time they release a tweet that markets are gonna boom, markets boom. And when they say markets, they release something else that's negative, the market drops. So you look at the technicals and you think, oh, the market is doing great, it's gonna move up, and then they drop bad news, and your technicals go to shit. So so at this point, I mean, a lot of people have been trading on news and not technicals. Um, Wamos, thank you for the follow. See, thoughts on SPY. So I answered that question. What's going on with Nvidia? Good day. Nvidia, Nvidia has a lot of good news, man. If you've been following Nvidia for the past, I mean, you could see how much it rallied from, let's see, being at the 50 SMA, 111, 118. It just went bananas all the way to 136. I think that's where it hit another resistance, 135, 136, and it did that for a couple days until the bad news on Friday. So Nvidia has a lot of great news, and that's why it's been rallying. I mean, they have new contracts with Saudi Arabia. I think it's worth like 200 mil or 200 billion or something like that. They're gonna sell a lot of Blackwell chips to Saudi Arabia, and to a company that's called Humanoid, I think, Humanoid, and that's the AI company in Saudi Arabia. So Nvidia is gonna be selling a lot of those chips to Saudi Arabia. So they're gonna get some revenue that they were not planning to get, and that's what's been pumping a lot of the numbers on Nvidia. Also, they remove a lot of restrictions from Nvidia, not from Nvidia, but on all the chip companies. So the U.S. had some restrictions that they were going to be on in effect, I think May 15th, where Nvidia needed a special license to sell to certain countries. And the Trump administration said, wait, we're not going to do that. We're going to remove the restrictions so that our companies can sell to a lot of other countries and make a lot of money for the United States and for the company. So that's what continued the rally on Nvidia, and I mean, nothing wrong with it. There are no bad news on Nvidia. It's just the fact that the bad news dropped for the entire market about Moody downgrading the credit of the United States. That was pretty much the only thing. Other than that, Nvidia is doing great. I'm in Nvidia right now. I'm in a position where I'm trying to get out of it at around 140. My average is about 110, so I'm still in the positive. I'm gonna see how this week plays out, and hopefully get out before earnings. I'm not gonna play earnings, so I'm trying to get out probably this week. If not, I'll wait until Monday, Tuesday, see if it rallies before the earnings, and then get out. So those are my thoughts on Nvidia. Let's see. Do you do you trade stocks only? Wamos, yes. Yeah, I don't do crypto, and I don't do bonds either. I mean, bonds, you just buy them, you don't trade them. But yeah, those are the only things um, that I'm trading right now. I do options, but I do only covered calls because I only trade with my own stocks. I don't like to risk my money with options and stuff like that. So I prefer to do just stocks. So I stick with that. Thoughts on coin. I don't really do. I mean, I can look at it, look at the technicals, but that's not my expertise. I don't really do crypto. I don't really do anything. If you're talking about Coinbase, is that what you're talking about? I think Coinbase had good news. If that's what you're talking about, I think that's the ticker symbol. Coinbase, yeah. So they had good news because they were added to the S&P 500. I think on Thursday after the market closed, it rallied, but then it got bad news on. No, I think it got added on Wednesday, and then on Wednesday after market, and then on Thursday they received bad news that there was some hacking and some data stolen, and then the stock dropped again. I mean, if I look at the chart, yeah, so it rallied when it got added to the S&P 500. Then it dropped because of the bad news on the hacking, and then it went up again on Friday. So here's the thing, because it has this big gap right there. I mean, I don't know if you're already into position and what kind of trading you're trying to do. I mean, are you trying to swing trade it? Are you trying to day trade it? Are you trying to enter a position? If you're trying to enter, if it was me, I mean, it's already high up away from the SMAs. So chances are that it's probably going to make a correction too on Monday. Try to touch again the 200. If it reclaims the 200, then it's going to continue. If it doesn't and breaks it down, it's probably going to, probably fill in that gap of about all the way down to 213 to 214, somewhere around that area. So that's my thoughts on coin. News overtake yeah, absolutely, Chavez. News overtake technicals with is that Isidro? Hey, Isidro. I went to high school with I went to high school with this guy. So thank you for being on the live, man. Appreciate it. They need to retest, continue being bullish. Yep, yeah, exactly. Can you check Nvidia? News on tech overtakes technicals. Yep, yeah, that's what I said earlier, right? So a lot of the traders, they obviously look at technicals and then decide what they're gonna do. But for the past month or the past 3 months, ever since the new administration took office, news is the thing that moves the markets, right? Every time they say something, either the market goes up crazy or they drop. So yeah, so it's hard to do it to use the technicals to predict where the market is gonna go. Bitcoin wants to break out. I think I already did. Didn't it go to? Let's see. I had Bitcoin the other day. I was watching it. I don't really watch like the um, what's Bitcoin, BTC. Um, I don't really look at Bitcoin and all of these markets, the cryptocurrency, just because I don't do that. I try to stick with stocks, with companies that actually produce something and make things and produce income. Bitcoin and Dogecoin and all of those things, they don't make anything. So these type of stocks could be at 100,000 and then it could drop to 70,000 in one day. For what reason? It just they could just drop for no reason. So I don't like to put my money into stuff that I cannot predict where it's gonna go. So, but I mean, it already broke the resistance that had at about 100,000, and it's been up here for a while. So, I mean, just looking at the technicals, you could see a lot of resistance at around 104, and from there, it looks like it's continuing down. So, if it didn't break that resistance, I think it might drop. So that's what I think about Bitcoin. Doms, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. The PepsiCo, Edgar. Edgar, the PepsiCo. Pepsi, I think I saw it the other day. Let's see. PepsiCo. I already have it here. So I just need to look at it. PepsiCo wasn't at like 100 and something. 100. It's closing at 131. It doesn't look very good. Let's see. No. I mean, I'm looking at the daily chart here, and for the past, see, since May 2023. So since May 2023, it's been in a downtrend. So you see higher lows, higher low. Let me mark it right there. Higher low here, higher low, another higher low. Then it dropped, higher low, higher low. So it's tough to enter into a position in a company that is down trading, hoping that it could come back up. I mean, Pepsi, I think it's one of those companies that are here to stay, but right now it's been struggling, as you can see, making higher lows. So, I mean, if you're day trading it and trying to hit the bottom, hoping that you can make a couple bucks, I mean, you can, but your margin, it's very small. So day trading it, it's very dangerous because you don't know if it's gonna make you those $2-3 per share, and the downside is greater. So your reward to trade this stock is very small. No, so risk to reward, always try to measure that. Usually, a lot of people recommend, or they always trade 2 to 1. Right, you make twice as much as you could lose. So up to you, man. But I mean, the technicals on this, they don't look very good. So that's for Edgar, that wanted to know a little bit about Pepsi. Gracias por la pregunta, Edgar. Let's see. Let's go to a few more questions. But it will reset, right? Which one? Good day. Sorry, I will look at another stock. I don't know which one you were talking about. Couch potato, couch potato. I don't know why that's funny to me. Thank you for the follow. JDO, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Eric, you think it will be a sell off on Monday? If there are no good news tomorrow, I think there will be a little bit of a sell off. Not too much. Might be like maybe a 0.1% drop on the SPY, maybe a couple percentage, 2% on the SPY, probably. Did you get UNH? Dylan, UNH, United Health. I have some United Health. I bought some at 280, and I didn't want to. I mean, I wanted to enter into a position on when it dropped to 250, but that move was pretty violent. It went to like 240, and then it started to recover to like 270 right away, and I decided to wait. But here's the thing with United Health. Okay, for those of you guys that have been following this company, this is one of the biggest companies when it comes to healthcare. Okay, and they manage a lot of money from Medicare and this other health insurance companies. And in the past month, it dropped more than 55%. I mean, you're talking about a stock that was worth $600. It went all the way down in a month, okay, month and a half, to $245. I mean, you can see right there, all right, 200, and I think it did touch at one point 245. So 600, 245, more than 55% of its value lost in a month. That is just crazy just to think about that. And United Health is actually a good company. They had good earnings. The only problem is that one, the guidance was not great. They could not release a good guidance because they didn't know where the prices were gonna go. Two, the CEO quit suddenly without notice, and you're talking about a CEO that started last year after the previous CEO got killed. And then number three, they released news that the DOJ, the Department of Justice, is investigating United Health for possible fraud on Medicare because they are inflating some prices and then charging Medicare to get some more money, to get some more revenue. Now, none of this has been proven. It's just investigation, right? So when those kind of news come out, then obviously the investors, they kind of start running away because if it is true, then the stock could drop a lot more. If it is not true, then the stock could reverse, and you might get some investors back into the stock. Now, what happened on when was it? Thursday. You guys see this candle here? this is what we know as a dragonfly candle, okay, which is uh, usually most of the time is a sign of reversal. So because you see this dragonfly candle here, a sign of reversal, well, the next day we woke up on a green. No, reversal means that it's gonna go the opposite way. Now you would think, well, maybe it might be time to enter it into a position. None of the issues that happened that sent the stock to 255 have been resolved. Okay, the DOJ is still investigating. We don't know if there was actually fraud. So if the news are still, the DOJ is still investigating, and the stock went up, that for me would not make me enter into more positions, because I do want to enter in a position long term, maybe 2-3 years from now, and I probably will. But I want to see it back to probably 250, and I want to see more clearance on what's going on. Why did it drop? And and see if, or not why did it drop, but is there actual fraud, right? Why is the DOJ investigating? How long is that investigation going to take? So I want more clarity on that before I can make another move. But the reason why it jumped, I wanted to get to that point. The reason why it jumped is because insiders, so people that work for United Healthcare, they are the ones that bought some stock. So I think the current CEO, so the CEO that replaced the one that just quit, he bought some stock. He bought millions of its own stock, and then a lot of other people in United Healthcare bought more stock, and that's what pumped the stock back up, because they probably bought like at 250, and the stock went up. But it's because insider trading, because they're probably trying to hold it for a couple years until it goes back, because United Health, it is a good company, but we don't know if it's going to go even lower because investigations are still going. So that's what I think on UNH. Sorry, that one longer than I thought. Dylan, thank you for the follow, Dylan. I do option trading. We have a Discord that gives day traders daily trades if interested. I I can't encourage people to do it. If people aren't interested in that, I don't do options. The only options I do are covered calls, and that's because I'm risking my own stock. But other than that, I don't do it. Did you buy UNH? Yeah, so I bought some at 280, and I'm a little bit in the positive. I'm gonna keep it. If it goes down or drops to 250, I'm just gonna dollar cost average, and this is just what I'm doing because I am looking at this long term. Okay, maybe 3-5 years from now. So I'm not gonna touch it. I'm just gonna buy some more because I do believe that this is one of the biggest stocks in healthcare, and their numbers are great. They have been having good earnings, so I do believe that this is gonna recover. So I do plan to get some more stocks. I swing trading coin to go to 310 by the end of next week. It could be just because of the good news that had this past week. Entering into the S&P 500 or being added to the S&P 500, but again, it had also bad news on Thursday, so it kind of countered the good news. If it didn't have those good news, you would probably you would have hit 310. So yeah. Thank you for the follows, guys. Again, if you guys can help me by tapping the screen, that will give me a lot of likes. Yeah, help me increase the popularity of the channel. So if you guys can give me that, tap the screen, I really appreciate that. So tap tap tap. Let's hike about it. Thoughts on QBTS? I have that. QBTS. Where's QBTS? QBTS. I thought I had it. The quantum realm. Okay, so here's the thing with all the quantum stocks. Okay, and this is for everyone who heard the news on quantum stock back in November, I believe, when Google released their quantum chip. Google kind of pumped all the quantum stocks back in November because they released this quantum chip that's called Willow, I believe, and because that's the future of computing, a lot of these stocks went up. But how soon can we use a chip? I don't know. Is it gonna be profitable as soon as it comes out? We don't know that. These kind of stocks are really good to keep an eye on and maybe get some exposure and say, I have $1,000 that I don't mind losing, and I can put it in QBTS, or I can put it in Rigetti, which is another quantum stock, which at the time I think it's pretty cheap. It's like a $9 per stock. So if you have some speculative money, or speculative speculations about a stock with money that you can lose, and say, if quantum doesn't work, or plan out, if I lose those 1,000 or however much money I want to put into this stock, I'm okay with that. I'll survive. I'll be fine. But if you want to put $10,000, $20,000, hoping that this is the future, as of now it's a little bit uncertain. So it's more like a gamble, right? If you want to be safe with your money and say, I'm gonna get some exposure, if it grows, great. If it doesn't, I'll be okay. Okay, so that's my thought on quantum. If you look at the technicals, looking at the technicals with quantum, it's right now hitting some of the resistances. I think it broke a little bit of the resistance, but it didn't close above it. Usually, for a stock to get confirmation that it's going to continue to rally up, it has to close above the resistance, like the full candle above the resistance. And as you can see on when was it, on Friday of last week, it kind of touched the resistance, but it didn't fully close above it. So I would wait probably for a rejection on Monday, especially because Monday, if we don't have any more good news tomorrow, it might wake up in the red. So if you can help me, guys, with the tap, for those of you that just joined, my name is Gerardo. I do swing trades, and I also invest in the long term. And at nights from Monday through Friday, I do a little live from 9 to 11 usually, and talk about what happened in the day, and try to give everyone the news and hopes that they can get educated on what to expect the next day, because you have to be prepared if you're going to be trading on the following day. Pursuers, thank you for the follow, appreciate it. DAJ, thank you for the follow. Alan, thank you for the follow, appreciate it, man. Adrian, see, missed a lot of comments. Adrian, it's news. Jay Cordero, thank you for the follow, and thank you for the share. Yeah, if you guys can share the live, even better. I appreciate it. Isidro, yes. Yeah, Isidro. So, nice seeing you, man. I mean, seeing you on TikTok. We haven't seen each other for a very long time. I think probably after high school we lost contact. I still see some of my buddies from high school, but I think you moved and went somewhere else. So I hope you're doing great. And I don't know if you're investing in stocks, man. Doing that. So if you are, good for you. So I'll be here during the lives. Maybe you can share some of the stuff and get some conversations going here and in the live. What are your thoughts on Nvidia, Cap? I just share a little bit of Nvidia, so I don't mind going to it really quick. Nvidia is great. It's got good news. It's got good contracts. It's got a lot of new money coming in from Saudi Arabia, which we didn't have that. A lot of restrictions removed so they can sell in other countries. So Nvidia is rocking. I mean, if we didn't have the news from Friday, I believe firmly that this week Nvidia would have gotten to 140 easy. But because of the news from Friday, now I don't know. I don't know if it's going to hit 140 unless we do get some good news from the administration. I do think it's going to pump Nvidia, because there's nothing wrong with Nvidia right now. Now, usually you always get bad news on a stock, whatever it's happening, and that kind of pulls the stock down. But Nvidia's got no bad news at all, or it has. I mean, crossing my fingers, knock on wood. It hasn't had any bad news, and everything is positive on Nvidia. And earnings are a week and a half away on May 28th. So usually Nvidia pumps before earnings. I'm hoping that also gives it a little push to hit 140, because I'm trying to get out of a position on Nvidia at around 140. So I hope that this week, even with the bad news, Nvidia can still push the 140. But nothing wrong with Nvidia. I think it's going to hit 140 regardless, eventually. So not this week though, unless we have good news. What's your strategy, boss? What's your strategy indicators? This is Alan. Alan, I only use a couple of simple indicators: the simple moving averages, the 200, the 50, and the 20. I use volume to know if there's a lot of there's going to be a lot of liquidity in that stock, and also I use the RSI, which tells me if a stock is oversold or overbought. Okay, those are the only ones I use. I try to keep it simple, and of course I do the resistance and support, which those are the basics of knowing how to read charts. I'll be dropping some videos in my profile on TikTok pretty soon on how to read charts. So if you guys are interested, follow me. Look at my profile in the next week. I'm gonna be dropping some videos every day on a one-on-one how to read a chart. Okay, so if you guys are interested, follow and look for those videos this coming week. Nvidia looks bullish. Absolutely, the pursuers. Yep, absolutely, man. Like I said, Nvidia's got good news after good news after good news. Plus, they have earnings, and the earnings the past earnings. Look at this. I mean, I have the earnings right here. So, last earnings they beat EPS. Let me look at this. They beat EPS by 4 cents. No, so what? I'm sorry, by 0.04 cents, and they also beat revenue by about $1 billion. Okay, this quarter they are expecting to bring in revenue at 43. Now, 43 is an aggressive number, but remember that they just released a Blackwell chip, which they said they cannot keep up with the demand because everyone wants the Blackwell chips. Facebook wants the Blackwell chips. Um, Google wants the chips. Amazon wants the chips. And because everyone is fighting for these chips, they're going to continue to sell all of these. Plus, they just had the Saudi Arabians, you uh, buy a lot of chips from Nvidia, so that's gonna even create more revenue for Nvidia. So absolutely, yeah, Nvidia is bullish. It's just the macro news that are happening that is kind of pulling Nvidia down a little bit, but nothing wrong with that. Bitcoin is the best performing asset of all time. Mexi, I mean, I don't know what to tell you with Bitcoin, man. If you know Warren Buffett, who is the best trader of all time, I mean, I hope you know who he is. He said if they gave me Nvidia or they offered me Nvidia for $1, I wouldn't buy it because who would I sell it to? Okay, for Bitcoin to profit in Bitcoin, you need somebody else to be willing to pay for it. That's it. Because Bitcoin doesn't do anything. They don't create any products. They don't bring in any revenue. It's just who's willing to pay more for it. So I know that's just my opinion on that. But if you do it, and I mean, if you bought it in 2010 and now it's worth 100,000, I mean, props to you, man. Cub coming on Bitcoin. I didn't understand that question. Let's see. KHC Farrell. I don't know what stock that is. XRP kind of the same thing. Broward. I think I looked at that last time. XRP. It's just, I mean, it's a cryptocurrency. I don't really do that just because I like what I can control, and these kind of stocks they trade 24/7. I'm not gonna be awake at 2 a.m. trying to see if it goes up so I can sell it. I like my sleep, so I try to stay away from Bitcoin, from all of these currencies that trade all day. I prefer to just look at stocks that are open from Monday through Friday. Um, see, Amorcita, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. And guys, if you guys can help me with tapping the screen, I'm trying to get to 10,000, more than 10,000 likes. Yesterday, I got about 11,000 likes. So I'm trying to break that record every day that I stream. So if you guys tap the screen, I'd really appreciate the likes, and let's continue with the questions. Let's continue with this talk. I'll be here probably for another 30 minutes or so. So I'm trying to break that record. I hope that I can. So if you guys like the live, I would really appreciate it. And I'll answer your questions as they come, and hope you guys like the answers I give you. No, if you don't, then it's because I'm just being honest. Do you day trading? Do you do day trading options? Pursuers? No, I don't. I don't do options, and I don't day trade. I I do swing trade. So I try to stay away from day trading. I tried it at the beginning at first, but it was too stressful. So I prefer not to day trade. I just do swing. James just noticed yesterday Moody's downgrade U.S. credit from last to 2011 23 downgrade sell off. Yeah. So James, this is what happened in 2023. Um, it was not Moody. There are three credit agencies that are the main ones. One of them is Moody, which last Friday they downgraded the credit worthiness of the United States. That's what sent the stock a little bit down after market, which we haven't seen the result of that until Monday when the market opens. We're probably gonna see that, but last Friday was Moody. On 2023, it was a different credit agency that downgraded the United States. Then the next day, the market opened negative, but it was only about 1% sell off. Now in 2011, the another credit agency also downgraded the credit worthiness of the United States, and the market dropped like 7 or 8%. But back in 2011, we had other issues, right? We had the recession that happened in 2008, which in 2011 the U.S. was barely recovering, and because he was barely recovering, they got bad news, and everyone panicked. Everyone said, it's gonna happen the same thing again as 2008. So everyone started selling their stock again. So that's a big difference between 2011 and 2023. I believe, again, my opinion, that what's gonna happen on Monday is similar to what happened on 2023. We're gonna get a little bit of a sell-off, but I don't think it's gonna be as bad as the one that happened in 2011, because everyone's known that 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 the U.S. is in 36 trillion debt deficit, right? 36 trillion. Everyone has known that. I mean, Wall Street knows that, and this shouldn't be or shouldn't come as a surprise. So I think it's just the perfect excuse. I think that I said that yesterday in the live. It's the perfect excuse to get that little pullback that the market needed, because it had been rallying for like 5 days. So it needed that pullback. All the stocks, for a stock to grow healthy, it needs to rally and then pull back, and then rally and then pull back. Okay, so that's the only way that you can have sustainability on a stock. If it just keeps going up, it's gonna go down as hard as it went up. So, so to for the stock to be healthy, it goes up a little bit, down, then up and down, and that's how we have healthy stocks. Isidro, retest support from January 21 and looking bullish. Next level is 135. Oh, Pepsi. Oh, let me see. I didn't look. I don't trade Pepsi, so I don't know what the supports are. But if we look at the daily chart, let's see. You said 2021 in the daily. I mean, there's a lot of noise. Let's look at the weekly. Maybe weekly will tell me better things. See, let's draw the support right there, somewhere around this area. Oh, yeah. I mean, it has a lot of support there. So in 2021, yeah, March 2021, there was a lot of support. In 20, there was a lot of support there. It broke it, but it reclaimed it, and it was probably during when COVID hit. It was probably that's probably the drop, but they recovered it and used that as support. So you're right, yeah. So a lot of it has a lot of support there. I don't know if there are bad news on Pepsi or why it dropped that much for the past couple weeks. It's been dropping for the past couple weeks. So, but it finally hit resistance, and then on the weekly candle, we're showing a little sign of life Um, I would wait for like a double bottom or confirmation so that we know if we're gonna rally up. Okay, so maybe a little bit more um, confirmation to see if it's gonna reverse from here, because we don't quite have a dragonfly candle, so it might reverse from here. I mean, if you're willing to risk a little bit and say I'm gonna enter into this position and I'm gonna keep buying as the stock goes down, but it's been in a downtrend for a long time. It's been in a downtrend since 2023, so that's 2 years in a downtrend. Um, so that's a tough call. But again, it depends on you on how long you're willing to wait on this stock. Because Pepsi is here to stay. It's just a matter of how long you're willing to wait so that you can get some profits there. Thank you for the comment, Isidro. What do you think about Rivian? Rivian. I mean, I can look at the stock. I don't invest in Rivian because Rivian is depending on Volkswagen. Volkswagen injected some revenue into Rivian so that it could stay alive. And when a stock is depending on another company to barely stay alive, I mean, why would I put my money there? If there are better companies than Rivian, like Tesla. Tesla right now it's a little expensive. I wouldn't enter into Tesla either right now. But if you gave me to choose Rivian or Tesla, I mean, Tesla's got future plans for stuff other than cars. I mean, they do sell cars, and that's what they get most of their revenue. But they have the Optimus robot. They have the Robo Taxi coming out in July, which it may not happen. They always delay stuff, but they have a lot of plans in the future. And Rivian only has more electric cars. That's it. Okay, they don't do anything else. Um, if you do options, I recommend 90 plus days out because of time decay. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, um, the only options I do Isidro are the cover calls, and I usually do like a week or 2 weeks. But that's because I play with my own stocks. But if you're just doing options, okay, just buying or selling contracts, yeah, they usually recommend. I mean, not recommend, but a lot of the pros that do options, they do like 35 days or more. So 90 days could be a good time frame. I see cup and handle. For Pepsi, for cup and handle for Pepsi. Yeah, so that's one of those formations, right, for the candles. Yeah. Taquachona, thank you for the gift, Taquachona. Francisco, thank you for the follow. Taki Beach, thank you for the follow. Solito, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. You think that Spy is keeping bullish? Hey, Spy, it is bullish, but it's very close to the all-time highs. And when you're getting close to all-time highs, you got to be careful on that because it might hit the all-time high and then drop back a little bit. But again, the technicals don't really do anything if the news are the ones driving the market, right? Like we had bad news on Friday, which was Moody downgrading the credit of the United States. That dropped the market. It might continue to drop, but then we have deals that the United States announced with other countries like Taiwan, or not Taiwan, Japan, South Korea. I think they had some deals that they wanted to announce with India. So if they announce something like that during the week, then the market is going to continue to rally. Spy is going to break probably the 595, which is a big resistance, then go all the way to 600. Okay, and then from there, all time highs. Let's keep in touch, brother. Yes, Hidro. Hey, man, if you can join, every now and then the lives. I mean, maybe I can learn a couple of things from you on options. I don't really do options. I know what they are. I just don't mess with that. I just, rather to play with my own stocks. But we can keep in touch and just share a little bit of knowledge. So thank you for stopping by, man. Nice talking to you, even if it's just here through Nvidia, through the TikTok live through Nvidia. What do you think on SPY? Keep bullish. Well, I answered that question. Monday will be a sell-off, and you think we will get new low on Nasdaq, maybe double bottom? I don't think it's gonna, James. I don't think it's gonna go that low on Monday just with the news from Friday. Okay, that's not enough to send the stock down. Now, if we get more bad news for whatever something else happens in the news, or Trump comes out and says, we don't have a deal with China, then I do see a double bottom. I see the SPY probably going and retesting that resistance at 480, 490. So it could drop all the way there if we don't have any more deals with China or any other country. Do you like Thinkorswim? Do I like it? I mean, you mean like the program, right? To read charts. I have it. I use it, but since I paid the service for TradingView, I stick with this, and I've gotten used to all of the tools that TradingView has, so I prefer to use it. And then plus, it's a little bit more colorful, more modern than Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim kind of looks old, so I prefer to use this. But I know a lot of the pros use Thinkorswim. But I like TradingView better, and that was Hector. So Hector, thank you for the comment, Hector. And again, guys, if you guys can help me with the likes by tapping the screen, I would really appreciate it. Just keep those likes coming, and let's continue with the comments. So tap up the screen, help me with that. Let's see, Susana sharing the live. Susana, thank you for sharing the live. Any also, if you guys don't mind sharing the live, that'll be also great. I would very much appreciate it. ADS Bitcoin price target. ADS. Well, the all-time highs for Bitcoin. I don't trade Bitcoin, so but that doesn't mean that I don't keep up with the news, right? The all-time highs of Bitcoin are around about 110, right there. Let's look at the daily. So right about 108, 110, those are the all-time highs. And but so far it's been hitting a lot of resistance at 104, 105. If we have good news, like Trump comes out and says buy Bitcoin because it's gonna be the next great thing or something like that, then it could go to all-time highs. But if there are no more news, because that's what apparently is moving the market now, not the technicals, not what the company is doing. I don't see Bitcoin, really moving up past the resistance of 104, 105. I think it's, if anything, it's probably gonna correct, and it's gonna drop a little bit more. So and maybe retest the 200 moving average. Diaz, let's see, Tesla. It's always interesting to talk about Tesla because Tesla is one of the most volatile stocks, and it's a great stock to trade, but it's one of the most dangerous stocks to trade as well because of the volatility. Tesla has been having a really bad 2025. The numbers that they released when they announced their earnings a few weeks ago, they were terrible. And then on top of that, there were a lot of protests against Elon Musk because of his involvement with the government. So that affected the stock. On top of that, I mean, like I said, earnings were pretty bad, and then the stock went up, which doesn't make sense. Why would the stock go up when the earnings are so bad? The only thing keeping the stock afloat is the release of the robotaxi, which will happen in July. But again, if Tesla delays, which it's happened in the past, if they delay their robotaxi, I do see Tesla probably retesting that 270 level, 250, somewhere around there. But as of now, I mean, it's a very expensive stock. The PE ratio, I think it's like, let's see, what's the PE ratio for Tesla? 188. So that's a pretty expensive stock, considering that they've had really bad earnings, and they're not selling more cars, and that's where they get most of their revenue, from cars, and they're not selling more. So just be careful on that. If you're trading or trying to enter into position with Tesla, just take those factors into consideration. I'm long Pepsi, but with all this rating stuff, I think I'm gonna close it. Bull. I mean, if you're that's Bulldozer. I mean, if you already did your research and you're in the positive, I mean, by all means. If you're long-term Pepsi, I mean, Pepsi is hitting a resistance right now, and from there it might recover a little bit. We don't know, but I mean, it's up to you, man. How long you're willing to wait and see if you can recover some of that money. I don't know if you're in the positive or the negative. Christian Villa, thank you for the follow. Bitcoin gonna break out soon, huh? Um, if there are good news, absolutely. I think it's gonna go to all-time highs again. Try to retest that, and then from there, maybe have a little pullback, and then reclaim it again. But we have to have good news. We have to have a lot of deals with other countries. Um, we have to have Trump talk about what's gonna happen with the tariffs with China, and if all of those things line up, then I do see Bitcoin breaking out, as long as the other stocks as well. Orhan, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. What do you think? What is it? AAL? I don't know what that is. Sounds like a AAL. Oh, American Airlines. I don't know. I haven't kept up with this stock, but I do know that Saudi Arabia signed a deal with Boeing, which is this other company that makes airplane parts and airplanes, and I think that's what sent the stock, higher a little bit. But I mean, as you can tell, it has been in a downtrend for a long time since January. It's been in a downtrend, dropping all the way to lows of 859, which it was retesting lows from August 2024. So as of now, I mean, it seems like it wants to touch the 200. From there, it's probably going to reject it and then go back and then probably retest it again and maybe eventually break it. But I mean, for now, if you're trying to enter into a position, you have a little bit of room. So I mean, obviously, you got to do your own research and see what your risk is and what your waiting time or waiting period is as well. Because if it doesn't plan out, I mean, you might be stuck in this stock for a while. Um, so yeah, so that's my opinion on American Airlines. Hope that helped you a little bit. Fernando, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. What do you think of RCL? What is RCL? See, RCL. You guys are giving me like a lot of stocks that I don't really look at. I try to stay with companies that are well known, companies that give good returns, and companies that even if they drop, that I know they surely will recover. All right, those are the companies I look at: the Walmart, the Costco, the Amazon, Target, all of those big companies that I know even if they drop, they're gonna recover. Right. So I try to stay away from companies that I don't know, that I don't know if they're gonna do well. That's it. Royal Caribbean Cruises. Interesting. But I can read the technicals, so I mean from there, I do can give you a little bit of an insight. This one, I mean it's close to resistance too. As you can see, it has resistance at around 255, 257. Right now it's at 255, so it's probably gonna hit that resistance too from back in December 2024, and then drop down a little bit and then try to retest it again. If the good news continue, I don't know this stock, so I don't know if something happened or there are good news on this. So I mean, you got to do your own research in this stock if you believe in it, but it's gonna hit resistance pretty soon. So if you're trying to enter a position closing to resistance, I would consider it. Again, if you also look at the technicals on the 20, the 50, and the 200 SMA, this is pulling away from the SMAs. And usually when stocks pull away from the SMAs, they tend to have a pullback, retest one of the SMAs, and then maybe push back. But having the stock away from the 20, as you can see here, it's been trending with the trading with the 20, pretty close to it, and right now it's very far away from it. So maybe wait until it hits the 20 and then maybe try to enter in some positions if that's what you want and that's a company you like and you believe in. Eman, thank you for the follow. Brandon, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it, man. Again, if you guys can help me with the tops, I'm a little bit far away from my goal. My goal was to get to 10,000 before I ended the live today, and I'm a little bit low on that. So if you guys can help me with the tabs like in the live, I would appreciate it. And let's keep the comments coming. See, E-Man, thank you for follow. See, I answered that question. Use the MACD indicator with RSI. I use the RSI only. I was using the MACD, but that was too many indicators on my screen, so I just stick to the RSI. I look at the MACD every now and then, but RSI is the one that I choose to follow to use. Let's see, ZMG, thank you for the follow, appreciate it. Victor Gomez, are you into crypto? No, no crypto. Um, Again, I explained earlier, crypto is not something that I can predict or know where it's gonna go. I wish I would have been more educated on crypto so that I could give you better insights on that. I don't. I can look at the technicals, tell you more or less what's gonna go, but because I don't trade it and I'm not an expert in crypto, and crypto are not companies, they don't sell anything. I try to stay away from those. See, I bought XRP at 247. Should I sell before I lose more money? Palm Springs. I can't tell you what to do, man. I mean, every person who you see on TikTok or anywhere, they will not tell you what to do because of legal issues. We could just tell you what we think, but what you do is, you know, whatever you think is best for you and whatever is going to help you sleep at night. So you said you bought XRP or what was it? XRP at 247. Let's see. Am I looking at the right one? Probably not looking at the right one. XRP. Is that the ticker symbol? XRP? XRP. Is that the same one? I mean, if you bought a what do you say? 247. Maybe that's not. I'm not looking at the right ticker symbol. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong one because this one is at 139. So I mean, if you bought a 247, you're up like 2,000%. But I might be looking at the wrong one. So if you can send me the ticker symbol, I don't know if that's the one or I'm looking at something completely different. Let's see. Sawyer, I bought my first crypto ever and I did XRP. Is that bad? Um, I mean, the only thing with crypto, again, if you guys do it and it works for you and you get profits from crypto, great, good for you guys. I don't do it because I started with stocks. I like stocks. I like to look at companies that report earnings, that show where they're going in the future, that I know what they sell, and I get familiar with what they sell. Now, cryptocurrency, XRP, Dogecoin, Bitcoin, they don't sell anything. They don't have earnings reports because they don't sell stuff. So it's hard for me to look at that stock and think, is this stock gonna go up, gonna go down? Are they releasing any products in the future? With these type of stocks, you don't know. So that's why I try to stay away from that. But I mean, if it works for you, Sawyer, and you're making some money with XRP, I mean, props to you, man. What do you think about Spy this week? Killing. Spy. So Spy is, I mean, we talked about it earlier. It's in a rising wedge. So that's usually bearish. And then on top of that, you have the bad news that came out Friday about Moody downgrading the United States. So that could make Spy correct a little bit, possibly fill in the gap or test the 200 because it needs to test the 200. I mean, look at how it skipped it in the daily chart. It skipped it broke the 200 SMA and never reclaimed it, never retouched it. So I think it's due for a retouch on the 200 SMA, and then from there, continue the rally, unless we get good news, because that's what's moving the market lately. So if we could get good news, then it's probably not gonna drop all the way down. It's just gonna continue to rally and hit all-time highs. So that's what I think about Spy. How to start? Colin. I mean, that's your user, Colin, right? How to start trading or how to start reading charts. I'm not sure about what your question is, but if you want to learn how to start, I'm gonna be dropping some videos this coming week on how to read these kind of charts, and then how to create a broker's account. So if that's what you mean, follow my channel, and then I'll be dropping some videos next week, so you can start looking at those and get some ideas on how to get started in the world of trading. User 1529, thank you for the follow. One Rock, thank you for the follow. Moha, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. I need broker in USA, bro. Moha, brokers in I mean, you have a lot to choose from. You have Robinhood, you have Fidelity, you have Charles Schwab, and which one you choose, it depends on what kind of trader you are. If you are a swing trader, maybe Robinhood is not a bad broker to use because it's very user friendly, and if you're a day trader, Charles Schwab or Fidelity are the best ones to use because you can use hotkeys. Okay, if you don't know what hotkeys are, they're just easier ways to buy and sell stocks. Using the keys on your keyboard. So it depends. It depends what your needs are, but those are some of the most common that the pros use. Victor Gomez, follow the host. Thank you for the follow, Victor. Should I buy Sista? I don't know what that stock is. Sita, not Sista. What is Sita? And this is Colin. Colin. I mean, if you're barely starting with stocks, I would first get educated, know what know how to read stocks. Oh, actually, somebody asked me about this stock earlier, and I did say that the stock was a very expensive stock. It had like a reverse split, for some reason, and that's why it's been dropping, regardless. So, I mean, if you buy this kind of stock, do you know what it sells? Do you know if it has potential? If it has potential for the future, and if you don't mind losing your money, then yeah, maybe buying it will be a possibility. But it's a lot of speculation with this kind of stock. Holo, fly higher. Holo, is that a stock? Fly higher. I don't know if that's a ticker symbol. Let me know if that's a ticker symbol. How about option? Option Wamos. I don't do options. I only trade stocks and do cover calls every now and then. Evie, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. JD, how you feel about TLYS? I don't know that stock. TLYS. Oh, Tilly's. I didn't know that was a ticker symbol. I don't know, but it doesn't look very good. As soon as I open the chart, I mean, it's in a downtrend. It's been dropping. Tilly's, it's got a lot of competition. A lot of other stores that sell the same thing as Tilly's. So, I mean, just look at the chart. It's been downtrend in a downtrend since forever, since back in 2021. It's been dropping, making higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. So this stock is not going anywhere. I mean, if you put your money in, you're just gonna lose it. I mean, I don't know if you want to lose your money. If you want to lose your money, yeah. I mean, somebody else is gonna come in and say, who asked me that question? Let's see, JD. JD. I mean, if you want to lose your money, you know what's gonna happen when you buy the stock. When you buy the stock, there's gonna be a shark looking at who's buying the stock, and they're gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna short that stock, and they're gonna short it. You're gonna lose your money. They're gonna take your money. You're gonna give money to somebody else who is looking at this stock specifically, just waiting for somebody to buy it, go up, short it, get some money out of you. So be careful with that. Moha BTC. Oh, Slotty. At Moha. Oh, you were asking somebody else. Palm Springs. Thanks. No problem, man. Anytime. If you guys can support me with the likes, I would really appreciate it. Just tap the screen and help me get to my goal of 10,000 likes before the end of the live. What time frame are you on? I look at the daily and the 4-hour just to get clarification on stocks. When I enter into positions, I start looking at the hour time frame. But typically, I just look at it from far away. The daily and the 4-hour are my favorite time frames to look at. Nadia, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Sinclair Barrera, can you check XRP? Is this the one? I need to get clarification on that because I was looking at XRP earlier and I don't know if this is the one you're talking about. This is Sinclair. Sinclair. Is this the one? I have no clue. I don't trade that stock, so I need to know if this is the XRP you mean. Because right now it's at 139. Is that the one? Okay, good. Let me know in the comments. You do option or shares? I do shares. I only play with my shares, so the only options I do is when I'm bullish on the stock and I know it's gonna get to a price. Like for example, last week on Nvidia, I did a covered call on Nvidia on a strike price at 140. So my average is about 110. So I'm still in the positive. And I wanted to get out of it at 140. So I just sold some contracts and I was trying to get out of it at 140, and my contract never got filled. So I just collected my premium. But those are the only kind of options I do. You expect implied volatility increase Monday? Absolutely. I mean, volatility is gonna be it's gonna be big on Monday because of the news that dropped on Friday, based on the United States not being as um, credit worthy as it was, before they had a big debt. So I do see a lot of volatility on Monday, and unless we have good news on deals, which I think that's gonna happen, and Trump is speaking to Putin on Monday too. I think at 10 a.m. So if Trump talks and gives something good about Russia ending the war or ceasing fire or something positive, that could move the market. So, like I said earlier, a lot of the stuff that's been moving the market is Trump talking, not really, how the companies are doing or GDP or economic data. I mean, it's more the administration releasing news on deals, on tariffs. That's what's been moving the market. What's a good time frame to find patterns to trade for the day? If you're trading for the day, like day trading, you need to look at smaller time frames, like the 5 minute, the 1 minute. If you're scalping or day trading, 5 minute, 1 minute is what most of the day traders look at. I was a day trader for a while. I made some money, but I was under a lot of pressure because you had to be in front of the screen all day, and I didn't like that. I prefer to be on the screen for a couple hours, work there, because that's the whole point of me doing stocks and trading stocks, is to get more freedom. And if I'm in front of the screen, all day until the market closes, that kind of defeats the purpose of why I do what I do. So I prefer swing trading rather than day trading. But if you are day trading and it works for you, I would look at smaller time frames like the 1 minute or the 5 minute. What's your opinion on Zui? It's a crypto, but I would like to hear your opinion. Let's see, Zui. I mean, I can look at the technicals, but I mean, again, I don't really trade crypto. But let's say Zui. Right now, what I can see is pretty good resistance. Somewhere around $14 with 29 cents. That was a resistance from back in December. So you see a lot of resistance right there, right? And it's the same resistance. It hit right here, and it rejected clearly, as you can see. Right now, the stock is reclaiming the 20-day moving average. So you see the blue line right there, and I think it's gonna go through it and try to reclaim the 200, and then from there it might bounce back. But that's my opinion on this. It rejected already a couple times. It didn't even hit the resistance, which was about 450. It didn't even get there. So be careful on that. If you're trading, what was it, Zui, no, which is crypto. Let's take a look at Hood. I'll look at Hood. Thank you guys again for being here. Appreciate you guys joining the live, taking some of your night on Saturday just to watch me talk a little bit about stocks and about what I think about some of these news that came out Friday and what to expect for Monday. So appreciate you guys being here. So I'm gonna answer a couple more questions and then I'm gonna let you guys go um, and probably get some sleep. Let's see. Hood, Rumpas. Absolutely, man. Let's look at Hood. I was in Hood for a while, and then I got out of it because I think I bought it when the company became public. So Hood has been rallying. The last thing I heard from Hood is that they bought a company, I believe, and that's what made the stock rally. So the all-time highs for Hood is about 67, 66, 67 bucks. It's getting close to that point. If you already enter into a position and you're in the green, just keep that in mind. Once it hit resistance, it's gonna take something more than what it did to break through that resistance. Some more good news, some catalyst that helps Hood break that resistance. Like I said, it could be the deals with China. It could be something else that Hood acquired, or maybe new features that they're releasing, something like that, so that it can break that resistance. If not, it's probably just gonna hit it. If the market opens on Monday negative, it's probably eventually gonna hit it and then reject it and go down again, and probably hit the let's see, it hasn't even been hitting the 50-day, maybe hit the 50-day moving average, the SMA, and then from there try to hit again the resistance if the good news keep coming. So that's what I think about Hood. See, SC Flow, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. And guys, if you guys can help me with the tabs, okay, I'm a little bit low on the tabs today. I'm a little bit low on the likes, so I would really appreciate if you guys can help me with that. That's the only charge, right, for being here tonight. That you guys help me with the likes. Jitas, what's your opinion on to? Okay, I read that comment. Says Cevitas, I just started. Is Robinhood good? I invested in Trump coin. How much should I buy? Look, there are different types of stocks, right? There are stocks that sell something, like Costco. The store sell product. They have people who pay for a membership. Walmart, they sell products. Apple, they sell phones. They sell iPhones and computers. And then there is Trump coin. What does that sell? Nothing, right? So Trump coin is one of those stocks that rallies on news that, I don't know, that Trump is supporting cryptocurrency, and then the stock rallies, and then it goes down as fast as it goes up. That's how fast, or twice as fast, it goes down. And you've probably seen it. I mean, I never seen this coin. I think it's called DJT. That's a ticker symbol. Yeah, that's the one. So I mean, you're gonna see those big rallies and the drops. I mean, just look at this, right? I didn't even have to look at the stock to know. So look at those rallies, right? You rally up to $80, then that rally falls as fast as it went up. Look, from $80 back to $23, from $23 to 57, from 57 down to 25. Now, right now it is, let's see, it is at 20, what is it, $25. So it's at $25. Could it rally again? Yes. No. But if you put money into this stock, you're gambling. You're throwing the little ball on the roulette and hoping it lands on red 7. That's what you're doing with this stock. A stock shouldn't be something that you use as bets. It should be something that you are educated on, and the probabilities of you earning money are bigger than the probabilities of you losing money. You know what I mean? So if you are betting on this stock, it's not a 50-50, right? When you go to the casino, is it a 50-50 that your ball is going to land on the red or the black? No, it's more like a 1% it lands there, 99% you lose it. Look at this kind of stock that way. The probability of you losing the money, it's 1% or 99%. The probability of you winning, it's about 1%. Now, tell me, how would you feel if you bought right now, if you bought $1,000 or $2,000 of DJT, you bought it right now, tonight. Let's say the market was open and you bought it at $25. Would you be able to sleep knowing that your money is safe in DJT? If the answer is no, then what would you even try it? If the answer is yes, I'll be able to sleep because I know this, I'm confident, I know this stock, I am willing to bet my money on this and put it there because I know it's going to rally because DJT is going to sell a new phone that's going to be better than iPhone, and I'm confident in that, and that helps you sleep, by all means, man. But if a stock is going to keep you at night, it's going to keep you checking your phone every day or all day, to see if it's going up or down. If the stock is going to do that to you, then is it really worth it, to put in your time in that? So I'm going to leave you with that. You make your choice. But that's what I think about stocks like that just pump and dump. That's what it's called, a pump and dump stock. See, Robinhood, good. Cevitas. So Robinhood, I mean, if you're starting and you're buying at all-time highs, that probably wouldn't be a good idea, Cevitas, because it's already high. And if you're starting and buying the stock at the peak, you probably, it's from there, it's gonna go down. It might go up, maybe next year, maybe in a few months, but you're already buying at a very high price. I invested in Dropcoin. Okay, I answered that question. Do you expect the market to pull back on Monday because of Moody rating? I do. It's not, I mean, it's bad news, but it's not as bad as other people think. Because remember, this same thing happened with another credit rating agency back in 2023. And the stock dropped 1%. Despite the S&P 500 dropped 1%. Okay, you can look it up. Google it and check, credit rating agencies that have downgraded the United States. There'll be the one from Friday, the one from 2023, and the one from 2011. The one from 2011 was different. That one made the market drop at about 8%, but that's because we were living in a different economy. We were just recovering from the recession from 2008, so everyone was still scared. And obviously with bad news like that in 2011, scare the investors. So market drop, a SPY drop about 8%. So that was a pretty significant drop. But this year it's different because the economy is doing better, and I think it's more comparable to that 2023 downgrade. So is Trump? He said, Cevita, is Trump coin good? So I just talked about that, man. I hope you were able to listen to that little rant. I don't mean, it's not nothing against you. It's just like, if you're starting on in stocks, try to get educated on what good stocks to invest in. A stock that doesn't make you lose your sleep, a stock that you're not betting whether the stock goes up and down. You are entering into a position because you already know that the stock is doing pretty good, and you have a good feeling because you studied the company, you looked at the technicals, the fundamentals are good, all of those things that will help you sleep at night because you know that your money is going to increase no matter what happens. No utility. Cevitas, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Appreciate the follow, man. I hope I was able to contribute to your knowledge a little bit. Complete speculation coin. Kashuma. Yeah, I mean, you got people here in the live, just kind of reinforcing what I just said. So again, guys, if you guys can help me with the tabs, I think I will possibly be able to get to 10,000 likes. So that's my goal every day, to get to 10,000 and then get out of here. So so help me with the tabs. Appreciate if you guys tap the lives and keep the questions coming. I will try to get to all of them as fast as I can. Dan, thank you, bro. I don't know nothing at all. I just put in 20 or 5 or 10 on 10 different stocks. Okay. So, Cevitas, here is what I would do, right? When I first started in the stock market, I had nobody to guide me. My family doesn't invest, my friends don't invest, or if they do, maybe they didn't tell me. I have no clue. But I didn't know anyone around me to kind of guide me, right? To tell me, hey, this is what you could do so that you can make some money. And I had to kind of guide myself. And then eventually I was able to find people. I was able to surround people that know a lot about this stuff. I took some classes, I took some courses. I'm part of a community right now where we educate each other, right? We share some books, and we share a lot of our thoughts every day in the morning, when the time before the market opens. We share news, we share what the predictions are for the day. So I got educated on all this stuff, but when I started, I had no help, and I was thinking, well, should I do Bitcoin, should I do this, should I do that, without knowing anything. And I'm really happy. That's why I'm doing these kind of lives, because I want to help people like you don't make the mistakes I made, because I lost a lot of money. I have to be honest. Like the first 2 years of trading, I made a lot of mistakes and I lost a lot of money. Okay, and I was this close to give up, because I said, well, if I'm losing money, why am I doing this? Why am I stressing myself if I could just go to my daily job and just make money, and not have to worry about the investments I made. But I didn't give up. I stayed with it, and now I have a better understanding. I know what stocks to trade. I know where to put my money. I know where my money is going to be secured, and I just want to pass it on, and help people that probably are in the same situation where I was, a few years ago. So that's the reason why I do this. Um, I forgot what I was gonna say. So if it was me and I wanted to enter into a position long term, I would invest in stocks like the S&P 500. This stock is it's like a basket that has a tiny portion of the 500 most powerful companies in the United States. So this stock for the long term is typically what makes people a lot of money. I'll give you a quick example. If you have, let's say, my goal, okay, because I'm not there yet, I have to be honest. My goal is to have $1 million in the SPY, in the stock, the S&P 500, because this stock pays about 10% back to you every day on average. Sometimes it pays more. Like the last 2 years, it paid 25% on average, right? 2024 and 2023, it paid back 25%. I think it was 25% last year and 23% the year before that. So imagine if you have $1 million in the S&P 500, and you were living in 2024, in 1 year without you putting any more money into it, the S&P 500 made you $250,000 because you didn't touch the money. At the end of the year, you ended up with $1,250,000. And you could have just taken out those $250,000. That's your profit for the year. That's your compound interest. And you can use that money and spend it on whatever you want. No, of course you're gonna have to pay tax on that, but still, it's a big profit. So if I was to enter into a position long term, while I was getting educated on how to trade stocks and do all this stuff, I would start putting money into the S&P 500. The younger you are, the better, because because by the time you turn 50 or 60, you're gonna have millions of dollars in this company, in this stock. So that's what I would do. If you don't know where to invest, S&P 500 is always the way to go. And you can do some research and Google it and check how much that's gonna grow. Um, let's see. Jay, Cevitas, great advice. No problem, man. Anytime, anytime. I appreciate you being on the live, and I appreciate you guys also tapping the screen, giving me some likes. I hope I can serve of some knowledge to you guys, and give you a little bit of some insight and experience that I've had over the years. Trading in the stock market. I'm still learning a lot of stuff. I don't think anybody ever stops learning when it comes to stock. because we always encounter new situations. But I'm very glad to be here and help you guys out, changing your mentality, and hopefully that motivates you to continue investing in the stock market. JB, thank you. No problem, man. What do you think about waste management? What's the thicker symbol for that, Brian? I don't know what the thicker symbol is. I think it's W something. But if you can give me a thicker symbol, we can look at it on the chart. Or any waste type of stocks. Let's look at that one first, and then I can tell you. I'm 22. I want to learn. Where can I join your group? Well, I'm gonna be adding some videos, Cevitas, on my profile starting next week. So you might want to start looking at those videos. Those videos are gonna be for beginners on how to read charts and how to read, all of this stuff that I have here up here in the screen. What the candles are, how to get educated predictions on where the stock market is gonna go, and if you want to be part of that, if you're already following me, just look for those videos this coming week. Eventually I'm going to create a group. As of now, I am part of a group. I'm a part of a community where I learn a lot of stuff from other people as well. And but I don't have a group where I'm the lead. That's my goal, to do it eventually. I feel that for me to be there, um, I have to do this full time. Currently, I don't do it full time. Currently, I trade 2 hours in the morning before I go to work, and then I come back and I study the market and I keep doing all this research, but I don't do it full time. So once I am in that position where I can do it full time, then I'll be creating groups, and hopefully you become part of that group when I start doing that. But in the meantime, follow me on TikTok, and watch the videos that I'm going to be posting next week. Um, that's good. That's good. What you want? Yep. So pass it on. Yep. That's all I want to do, man. Do you swing trade long term? I do both, Kachuma. I do swing trade. So I am currently in positions right now with Amazon, Google, and Nvidia. The position where I want to close in the next week and a half is Nvidia. I want to close it probably, hopefully by this Friday. I hope there are good news on the economy, on the macro economy, which macro just stands for the economy in general, like good news for all the stocks. So the macro economy, if there are good news on that, I think Nvidia is gonna pump and go to 140, where it's gonna hit resistance, and then I'm going to get out of that position, just because I want to get some profits. Google and Amazon, I don't think those are gonna hit my target price yet, but I'm still gonna stick with those, and just wait. But I do swing trade. I don't do day trade because I don't have the time to be in front of the computer all day. Even if I did and I did this all day, I wouldn't do day trading, because the whole purpose for me is to not be in front of the computer all day. Okay, to not have to sit down for 6 hours, while the market is open. So I would still do swing trade. Um, Not everyone does that. You mean like teaching people, Cevitas? I mean, you have a lot of people on TikTok that they say, well, if you want to get educated, you click on here and then go to my bio. I have a course, you buy it, and it's like $300. And I did that, been there, done that, and honestly, those courses are stuff that you can get online for free. So I didn't see the benefit of doing that. And like I said earlier, I felt very frustrated at first because nobody was helping me. I didn't know where to go. So I said, whenever I learn and understand this stuff, I'm gonna pass it on and help other people understand it so that they can become millionaires. I want to become a millionaire. I'm not there, but I already know the path to get there, and how long it's gonna take me to get there. Which my plan is for the next 10 years. In 10 years, I'll be a millionaire. I can just retire from my job and not do anything else other than just stocks. No, and if you guys are curious about whether or not I'm a trader that makes money every month, I do make money. I don't make crazy amounts of money like those guys that they trade, But I mean, when you make a couple $1,000 a month on top of my job, I mean, those $2,000, I can spend them on whatever I want, and because that's extra income that I get, and I'm not losing sleep about it, because I'm trading stocks that are stocks that I know no matter what happens, they will always recover. Okay, so when you do stuff like that and you get some extra cash, why not? Not everyone does that. Yeah. So Monica, thank you for the follow. Julie, I can't wait to join your group. Oh, thank you, Julie. I appreciate that. Julie was one of the first people that I shared a book. So I do have a book that that was shared with me by my group. I have a lot of books and a lot of guides that can help people get started on stocks. So, Cevitas, if you're interested in that book, I share it for free. And once you finish that book, I can give you another one that can give you more guidance. That book is pretty extensive. I think it's about 200 pages. So I think Julie can tell you a little bit more about it. I shared that with Julie, and I don't know if she's had the chance to look at it yet, but it's about 200 pages. And a lot of the information you kind of have to go back and read it again, because new terms, new vocabulary, and you have to review that stuff a couple times to understand it before you can move on to the next page. Because if you move on to the next page and you didn't understand the first one, I mean, there's not a lot of point. So guys, if you guys can help me with the taps, I don't want to leave without 10,000 lives, or 10,000 likes before I end the stream. So tap the screen, guys, before I leave. I would really love to get to those 10K likes. So appreciate everyone being here and giving me a little bit of your Saturday night. Aisha, follow the host. Thank you for the follow. Romeo, so SPY going higher. Romeo, based on the news that happened on Friday, I don't see the SPY going higher on Monday. Eventually, when they start releasing all of the deals with China, with Vietnam, with Japan, with South Korea, and all of these other countries, then I do think the SPY is gonna it's gonna go to all-time highs. But I don't think it's gonna happen this week. Um, Trump said today. I was watching the news earlier, and he said that he's going to start sending letters to some countries to let him know what the deals are going to be, because he doesn't have the time to meet with each one individually like he did with the United Kingdom. He met with the minister of the United Kingdom, and they signed the deal, on TV. He met with he sent a couple of the Secretary of Treasury. He sent them to what was it, Switzerland, to close the deal with China on the pause. And then I think those are the only two deals that he has announced publicly. But he doesn't have the time to do that with every single country. So he said he's going to send letters out to those countries instead of meeting with them. And in those letters, he's going to let them know, what the tariffs are going to be and what the deal is going to be. And he said he has that coming in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So that's what's going to happen in the next couple weeks. We'll know a little bit more about those deals, and hopefully he can share that, and that can help the market pump. Aish, thank you for the follow. Again, SPY going higher. Yep. So I answered that question. Are you in options? Good day. No options. Only stocks. I do trade options only with my stocks. Hawaiian coin, Coinbase. I talked about Coinbase earlier. See where I leave it. Did I remove it? Coin. Right there. So let's see. What did we say about Coinbase earlier? I said that Coinbase, it had good news because it got added into the S&P 500 on Wednesday. It rallied, so you guys see that gap open right here. That gap is because of the good news of having the Coinbase, the stock, added into the S&P 500. And but then the next day, I believe they released news that they had hackers hack the database of Coinbase. So that sent the stock down. As you can see, this red candle that was because of those news, but then it rallied back up on Friday. But then because of the bad news of Moody downgrading the credit worthiness of the United States on Friday, I expect the stock to move a little bit down on Friday and maybe retest and filling this gap here that it left when it was added to the S&P 500. Because stocks always fill in gaps. Okay, always keep that in mind. They always fill in gaps. Sooner or later, it'll fill in this gap to the downside. So keep your eyes on that. Hawaiian, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. And again, thank you for the likes, guys. We're very close to the 10K. So keep those likes coming. And I will end with a couple more questions and then we'll call it a night. Do you short stocks, James? Sometimes, but I prefer to buy stocks when they are oversold and then go from there. So I think that's how I prefer to trade stocks. To short them, I do, but I always put a stop loss if I do it. You'll be so blessed. Thank you, Julie. Thank you. I just want to pass it on. I know what it is like to want to enter into this world and want to retire at an early age. I know what it's like. I was looking for that answer for a very long time. Okay, and I was never able to find it until I discovered the stock market and I study it. And I, like I said, I took some classes. I educated myself on this. Started reading on it, and I was dreaming about it too. No lie, when I first started. So now I know what it is like to kind of have financial freedom and have it in the palm of your hand, but then having a hard time understanding it so that you can make it profitable. I know what it is like. So I want to help people just like other people help me. After I found a really supportive group, as they help me, I want to help others and just kind of continue and pass on all the knowledge that's been passed on to me. So, and I hope that you guys, can take that, that knowledge that I have in the stock market and eventually, make your own decisions, but, with yourselves educated in this subject. What job do you have? Harry, I am a teacher. So I teach high school. I teach high school during the day. I go in late. No, my school starts class at 8:30 a.m. But I have the first period prep, so I don't go in until like 9:30. So I have 2 hours before the market opens, and I use that time to swing trade. So I entered some positions in the morning. I don't look at them until maybe a week or until my target is hit. So that's my job. Cevitas, where can I get the book? Oh, just send me a message through in TikTok, and then I'll send it to you to your email. Include your email address there, and I'll just send it to you for free. How do I contact you to get the book? Yeah, so just send me Evie. Just send me the message on TikTok. I'll send you the book. Julie, I already shared that book with Julie and a couple other people that were in my live during the week, and they said they liked it and they started looking into it. So Julie said it's a big book. So I mean, she's commenting here. It's a big book with lots of info, but worth it. So I really like that book because that book gives you a lot of information, but then at the same time it helps you practice practice some of the stuff that it's sharing with you. So that's a good start to start reading the charts, to know what those little candles, what the red means, what the green candle means, what the shadows, like the little weeks that you see on see, let me see if I can make it bigger. Okay, what those candles are, what the candles are, what the week at the bottom means, and so on. And just to give you a quick example, the book, let me see, UNH. The book also helps you read some of the candles and predict where the market is going to go based on what kind of candles you get. So for example, the book is going to give you this example, and Julie, when you get to that chapter, I'm going to give you some heads up on what you're going to find. When you get to that chapter in the book where it talks about what the meaning of this candle is. This candle is called a dragonfly candle. Typically, you find this candle when when the price got rejected at the bottom. So the price got to the very bottom, it rejected that price because a lot of people started buying the stock. So it went all the way up, and then it formed like kind of like a T. That's called a dragonfly doji candle. And when you see that candle in a day, because this candle represents 1 day of trading, when you see that kind of candle in 1 day, that means that usually the next day is going to be a reversal day, which means the next day is going to be a green day. And look at what happened the next day, right? You have a green candle because on this day, and this is on the stock United Health. I did enter into some positions, so I bought some stock on United Health, but again, at my own risk because this stock is going through an investigation by the Department of Justice because of possible fraud. So I did buy some stock at my own risk. If it goes up more, I mean, great. But I'm looking into this, not trade, not cash out on this stock until 3 5 years from now. Okay, because I have that money that I can put aside and not touch it in 3 years. If it gets to that point in 3 years, great. If it doesn't, then I mean I could still leave it there. It's not gonna affect me. But I took some risk there. But it's just a quick example on how knowing the candles and knowing how to read them can help you having an educated prediction of where the stock is going to go. And this is just a great example of knowing how to read these kind of charts, right? Knowing that the next day might be a reversal. And there are a lot of different patterns. I mean, there are hundreds of different patterns. This is just one of them, but there are hundreds of different patterns that you can look at that can tell you, hey, the stock is going to go this way because of this pattern, or the stock is going to go this way because now it's forming another pattern. So and that's what the book tells you. It's going to explain a lot of these patterns. Don't try to memorize all the patterns. That's going to be crazy. But eventually I will share another book with you that has all the patterns in one page, and it has the name of each one of the patterns. So that way when you're trading, you start looking at the pattern in front of you, and that way you can start getting familiar with that. And then after a while, you're not going to forget it. Like right now, you're probably not going to forget what this is. Okay, because I already explained it to you. It's called a doji candle, a dragonfly doji candle. So the name is not that important. The important thing is that you know what it means, which means reversal, right? Next day is probably going to be a green day. So anyways, let's get couple more questions, and then we're out. What time will you be live again tomorrow? Cevitas, tomorrow probably not gonna do a live. I try to stick with Monday through Friday, 9 to 11. So Monday through Friday, I will be here 9 to 11. And but tomorrow, I mean it's Sunday, so I'm just gonna take that day off. And but I'll be here Monday. Can you PS view Coinbase? I think I did. Hawaiian. I think I did check Coinbase. I explained that there's a gap to be filled. It had good news, but it also had bad news, right? The data breach that they had. So because of the bad news that happened on Friday, it's also probably gonna affect the stock, and it needs to reclaim the 200 moving average, which you guys see here on the orange line. It didn't reclaim it. Reclaiming it means that it's gonna hit it. It's gotta hit it and then bounce back, or hit it and break through. If it hits it and starts to bounce back, then you know that it's gonna keep going up. But if it hits it and you don't see any sign of it recovering, then it's probably gonna break through and go down. So and then fill in this gap that you see here. Let me put the box there so that I remember that it needs to fill in that gap. Okay, because stocks, like I mentioned earlier, they always fill in the gaps. Always, 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 always. When? That's a question. But it's not a question of if. It's a question of when. When is it going to fill it? Is it going to do it now with the bad news? Or is it going to wait and maybe eventually drop down on another set of news and then fill it up? Okay, so just keep that in mind. It will get filled. I don't know if it's going to happen on Monday. I don't have a crystal ball, but that's part of the analysis of or just looking at this stock. It's gonna feel it. Uh, what do you think about all the deals that Trump made? Should we invest into all those stocks? Uh, well, the deals, most of the deals don't affect the stocks directly. They affect the stocks in general. Okay, um, but there are some deals that some companies made, like Nvidia. The CEO of Nvidia was in Saudi Arabia. The CEO of AMD was in Saudi Arabia. So they were able to close deals for their own companies, and that affects the company itself. But what Trump did, he signed deals to bring in investments into the United States, and that affected all the companies in general. So it wasn't like a specific company. Um, I know for some, like Boeing, which is a company that makes airplanes, that was a very specific deal as well, because they signed a deal where they're going to be um, renewing the whole fleet for, I think it was Saudi Arabia or one of those countries in the Middle East, one of those. But the whole point is that they were going to renew the whole fleet, and that's why Boeing also, the stock went up. So it's not very it's not specifically for one stock. It's mainly for all the stocks in general, all the deals that he signed. What do you think of video will reset to Monday on Tuesday? Good day. I don't know what's gonna happen, man. I mean, everyone's gonna tell you they don't have a crystal ball, right? I don't know. All I know is that it has support at 130. All I know is that Nvidia is one of the best stocks right now because of all the great news it's had. All I know is that Nvidia is getting a lot of deals from Saudi Arabia, a lot of billions of dollars that are coming into Nvidia's pocket. So if everything is good news, good news, good news, I don't see a reason for Nvidia to drop unless we have macro news that affect all of the stocks. If all of the stocks are affected, that affects Nvidia as well. I do see it dropping to 130, which is resistance. I mean, if I show you the stock Nvidia, right, it's got resistance at 130, and then from 130, it needs to retest the 200 SMA. So that could be a possibility too, to go all the way down to 125. No, again, if there are no more bad news, I don't see it going to 125. Depends on how the market takes the news from Friday. Last time this happened in 2023, the stock market only dropped 1%. So based on that, I don't think it's gonna drop too much. But again, I don't know. I don't know how the market is gonna take it. Um, See, just listening and tapping. 10K, yay! 10K, thank you. I'm actually at 11K. I appreciate it. So if you guys are tapping and giving me a like, I always I've been wanting to break my record every time I do a live. So I started with like 5K the first day, and then I think it was 8 or 9,000 likes the second day. The third day was at 10, and then from there it started to go up every time. So now I'm holding my standards high with all of you guys being here on the live. So I appreciate you guys. You guys are my strong community. Um, and every time hitting more than 10,000 likes, that's pretty awesome. So I appreciate you guys being here and giving me a little bit of your Saturday night. So I'm gonna end up with one more question. Let's see, what's the bad news? Slick. The bad news is that a credit agency that's called Moody, they downgraded the power of the United States to borrow money. What does that mean? Well, that means that if the United States wants to borrow more money, some people are some banks are gonna say no, because the United States is already in a lot of debt, 36 trillion to be exact. And this agency downgrading the power of the United States to borrow money, of course, it affects everyone, because now I don't want to get into the topic of bonds. That will be for a different day, but it affects bonds as well. Bonds are just stocks that have a lot of the 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 loans that most of us get, like loans on cars, loans on homes. And anyways, I mean, that's gonna affect the bonds, and the bonds are gonna affect the stocks. So, but that'll be a topic for a different day. But those pretty much were the bad news. Just uh, letting the United States that they cannot borrow as much money as they were able to borrow, and now the credit score of the United States went down. No, take it as that. So if the United States had a credit score of 800, now it probably dropped to a credit score of 700, which is, it's still pretty good. Okay, it's still pretty good. The way they rate the credit score is different than your credit score or my credit score. Ours goes in points, like 700, 800. The United States or the country's scores go by letters. So the United States was a triple A, which was the highest, a triple A rated score. That's what the United States had, and it got lowered to one tier down, which is double A1. That's the next tier. Okay, so top triple A, next tier double A one, and there are other two other agencies that already had the United States at double A1. So I mean, are they terrible news? No. Are they bad news? Yes. Right, but they are not things that are going to melt the market. So, those were the news. I was in Vegas this week. Yeah, so that's what happened, Slick. You were probably pretty lit, right? That's why you don't know what happened. Can you check TQQQ moving for the next 5 days? All right, so I'm gonna end with this. Slick, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. And again, guys, if you guys can wrap things up with like on the live, give me some likes before I leave, and I'll leave with this last one. You said TQQQ. Let's see, that's one of my top stocks, I think. And if not, I'll just put it up here. So I thought I had it here. TQQQ. I do. I don't know where it went. TQQQ. So the TQQQ, for those of you that don't know, it's a stock that does the opposite of the QQQ. So if the QQQ, which is an ETF that has 100 of the best companies in the United States, mainly technology companies, if the QQQ goes up, the TQQQ goes down. And if the TQQQ goes up, then the QQQ goes down. I hope that makes sense. So I do see it rising because on Monday the QQQ is probably gonna drop, because QQQ usually drops big because it has a lot of technology companies, and if all of the technology companies are affected by the news from Friday, then I do see TQQ rising. Probably, let's see. I mean, it already hit the 200 SMA, so it's probably rising maybe somewhere around $77, 75. Depends on how the market takes the news from Friday, and if there are no other type of news, that might be what happens. It may fill the gap. It could be, man. It could be. So we'll see what happens. But again, guys, thank you guys for being here in the live. Thank you for spending some of your time this Saturday night with me, and thank you for the likes. We got to another record high, which was 14,000K. Again, I'm holding up my standards. And one thing that I do want to do before I leave every time we have a live is leave you guys with a quote. Okay. Yesterday I gave you a quote. Hope you guys were here for that. Today my quote is from Warren Buffett. I have a lot of quotes from Warren Buffett, which is the best stock trader of all time. He's been trading for he started trading when he was 14. He's 94 now, and he's still trading. So he's been trading for 80 years, right? So you might guess how much experience this guy has, and this guy is a winner. I mean, this guy sold all the stock before the tariffs. Does he have inside information? Maybe. Maybe he has inside information, but in order for him to sell all the stocks when all the stocks were rallying, it takes big guts. So this guy is a legend in stock trading. So he said something very simple, and this is for all of you guys that are beginners and plan to enter into this world of trading. He said, in order for you to trade stocks and be profitable and make money, you don't need to be brilliant. You just need to have common sense. Okay, I hope that sticks with you, and think about that. You don't need to be brilliant, you just need to have common sense. Okay, and common sense, would you invest in Bitcoin and worry about that all day because Bitcoin is open 24/7, or would you invest in Costco, which it's a store that sells a lot of, memberships and makes a lot of money? That's common sense, right? You don't need to be brilliant to know that. It's just common sense. Keep it simple. So, with that said, hope you guys have a great night, great Saturday. I will see you on the live on Monday, 9 to 11, 9 to 11 Pacific time, because I know some of you guys might be in a different time zone. So, 9 to 11, I will see you again, and have a great night. Have a great weekend. Enjoy it. See you then.